Good morning, dear students. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you have spent a happier day of Eid al-Fitr. Eidukum Mubarak. By the way, colors go back to some faces today. So, today I've decided to present my conference in English language without using one word, either in Arabic nor in French. So, you have to be patient, attentive, and you have to give me your ears. So, I think that I'm not eloquent in English as well as I am in Arabic, but I will try my best to convey to you the most relevant concepts, notions, and ideas regarding the case study. The case study. You know what does it mean, the case study? This is the topic of this conference, the conference of today. So, I think that Hayat will help me to give a good linguistic level. Why not? I think that, that you have a good level in English. I think that you speak in English fluently, freely, confidently. So, before starting my conference, if you have any questions, it will be better to write them down in your notepads, so that I can answer them after the presentation of this lecture. At first sight, I think that you are understanding me. I hope you are understanding me. If you want, I can repeat. I can say again my sayings. At first sight, so the topic of this conference is a case study. Case study. You try to translate it in your mind. Case study. Case study. At first sight, and methodologically speaking, we have to deal with the term in itself, case study, basing on a small epistemological approach. If we want to recognize deeply both its linguistic or theoretical structure and operational dimension. Do you know why we have to deal with the term case study in itself, using a small epistemological approach, if we want to really recognize deeply both its linguistic or theoretical structure and operational dimension? Because when it's about a term, try to be attentive. When it's about a term, there is no natural or simple relationship between its linguistic level and cognitive one. Cognitive means nearly scientific one. I repeat, when it's about a term, do you know what does mean a term? No, a term. Who can give term? For instance, for example, No. Who can give us one term? Term. Which belongs to our speciality. Communication is a term. Feedback is a term. No, yes, of course. So when it's about a term, there is no natural or simple relationship between its linguistic level and cognitive one. This said, there is a certain scientific intensity at the level of the association of the signifier and the signified in the lexical construction of the term. This said, I repeat, this said, there is a specific or a scientific intensity, a certain scientific intensity at the level of the association between the signifier and the signified in the lexical construction of the term. Thus, each term has to be based on a conventional relationship between its linguistic form and cognitive load. This is why the term doesn't work like a simple word. The term doesn't work like a simple word, but it has to have an epistemic reference to the reality which would never exist in one meaning. The term hasn't got one meaning, hasn't got already a meaning, but a concept. Simply put, the term hasn't got a meaning, but a concept. So now, the question that we have to ask, what does it mean, the concept? Concept. So the term hasn't got a meaning. I repeat, the term hasn't got a meaning, but a concept. Therefore, defining a term requires a conceptual or a specific definition. A specific definition which is actually a conceptual, let me say, a conceptual limitation. A conceptual limitation. At last, our term, case study, must be defined in its scientific dimension, requiring conceptual focus as well as a critical approach. I think that you have understood me. A term hasn't got a meaning. So here I want to make a difference between meaning and concept. Concept equals a lot of meanings. Concept equals or gathers a lot of meaning. So, the term hasn't got a meaning but a concept. Therefore, defining a term requires a specific definition, which is actually a conceptual limitation, as I have said above. Our term is case study. So this term must be defined in its scientific dimension, requiring conceptual focus as well as a critical approach. We start by, and you can write this definition. We start by this question: What does the case study mean? It seems a simple question, but not. It's a very important question, and it's a question. This question is pointed and complex because it gathers a lot of meaning. So now we are going to write some definitions about the real meaning of case study. What does the case study mean? And here I want to speak about the conceptual meaning of case study. Conceptual meaning or conceptual definition of case study. Try to understand me. The first definition, if you want the American language definition, the first definition, a case study. You can write this definition. A case study is an is an in-depth a study of one person. I repeat, a case study is an in-depth study of one person, group, or event. So you underline these words: person, group, event. Person, group, event. In a case study, nearly every aspect of the subject's life and history is analyzed to seek, I will repeat, to seek patterns and causes of behavior. I repeat, in a case study, nearly every aspect of the subject's life and history of the subject. The subject here means a person, the subject of the person. Try to translate it in your mind. The subject, not the topic or the object. You have to make difference between subject as being a topic or as being an object, and the subject as being a person, as being a behavior. Why not? So, in a case study, nearly every aspect of the subject's life and history is analyzed, must be analyzed, is analyzed to seek patterns, models if you want, patterns and causes of behavior. Case studies can be used in various fields, including psychology, medicine, education, anthropology, political science, and social work. I repeat, write it. Yes, you have to write this definition. You have to write it. It's very important. I repeat, from the case studies. Can I start from the case studies? Case studies can be used in various fields. Various field. Do you know what does it mean, field? You have to be ready to receive conferences in English language. From the next year, you must be able to learn English, and you must be able to receive conferences in English language. So you have to be capable to understand English. And I'm using a scientific language, a very simple language, an academic language. No, simple. Believe me, Khadija. I'm using a simple language, simple English. This English is called a scientific language or specific language. Scientific. I'm using terms, concepts, just terms, concepts. So, case studies. You know what does it mean, case studies? In plural. Case studies, plural. In case studies can be used. It's clear. Can be used in various fields. Faiza. Various fields. Fields. What does it mean, fields? Don't check the dictionary now. You have to follow me. No, but you have to follow me. I'm trying to use a simple language, believe me, and I'm trying to explain each word, if you want, each word, in each sentence. But try to follow me and try to be quiet, patient, as I said above, and attentive. So give me your ears, please. Case studies. Just a minute, Marwan. Case studies can be used in various fields, different fields. Fields. What does it mean, fields? Field. Marwan. No. Field. For instance, psychology is a field of scientific research. Communication is a field of research, of scientific research. Critic or literature, Arabic literature is a field of research, scientific research. Field. Including, look, case studies can be used in various fields, including psychology. Psychology is a field of research, of scientific research. So now I think that you have understood what does mean field. Psychology, including psychology, medicine, education, anthropology, political science, and social work. How can we explain this definition, this first definition of case study? So, case study is a kind of scientific research which deals with what? With person, group, society, and nation. Deal with, to study, to give a deep, to give a deep vision or deep study, or to give a deep research about person or about a group or about society on level of history or of scientific, on scientific level or on or historical level or scientific or cognitive level. So case study finally is intended to give a deep research about person or group or society, persons, groups, societies, to give a deep vision, to give a deep approach, whatever the nature of this approach, historical approach, a cultural approach. Which is important here is a depth vision about person, group, or society. The purpose of a case study, purpose. Do you know what does mean purpose? Purposes. The purpose of a case study. Now I'm going to speak about a purpose or studies, or a purpose of study, of case study. Purpose, the first purpose of a case study is to learn, write this saying. Welcome. Write this saying. It's very important. Believe me, dear students. Right. The purpose of a case study is to learn as much as possible about an individual or a group so that the information can be generalized to many others. It's very simple and it's very clear. I will say it again, word after word, and I'm going to explain each word. Try to be quiet. Please, try to be quiet, patient, and attentive, please. The purpose of a case study, I repeat, the purpose of case study. It's clear. Purpose of case study. Purpose. The purpose of case study is to learn as much as possible about an individual or group so that the information can be generalized after the research, or after we finish about, or after we finish, or after finishing our research about case study, we can generalize the information or results, so that the information can be generalized to many others. Unfortunately, I'm trying to speak. I'm trying to present this conference lower, to speak lower. But you have to try to understand me. You have to try to be quiet and to be attentive. Try to understand me. Khadija, I said you have to be quiet. Unfortunately, welcome. Unfortunately, case study, Khadija. Unfortunately, case studies tend to be highly subjective. This is a negative point of case study. A negative point or a negative aspect of case study. A negative aspect or point of case study. We cannot generalize all of information to others persons, or to others societies, or to others groups. We cannot generalize the information or the results of case study research. This is a negative aspect. So tends to be highly subjective, and it is sometimes difficult to generalize results to a larger population. It's clear, so clear. Another definition or another concept of a case study, a process. Case study is like a process or record of research. Process of research into the development of particular person, group, or situation over a period of time. Here we have to recognize that the time or the limitation of time is very important to realize good research of case study. So we have to limit a time. And here we can do synchronic approach to a society, to one society, or to one individual or person. Synchronic approach to a society, or to the topic in question. So the time is very important, or the limitation of time is very important to do a good or a real or a good search or research of case study. Now I'm going to tell you the types of case studies. Types of case studies. You see, we are dealing with concepts, with terms. There are too much concepts, or a lot of concepts and terms in my speech. You see, so it's a scientific speech. This is why I've said that the English language I'm using is very simple. It's a scientific language. What does it mean, a scientific language? A scientific language is one that is full of terms and concepts. So you have only to master concepts or terms if you want really to master the scientific, or to understand, or to master the scientific language, a scientific language or an academic language. So I'm telling you now types of case study or case studies in plural. The first type, you can write it. collective case studies. And I think there were one research given by, I don't know, given by a student about a type of case studies in Arabic. We have seen this in Arabic. One student has given his scientific research about a type of case studies in Arabic. So it's easy now for you to understand it. I can't now. After I can use the Arabic language, but not now. Try to understand me. It's very easy. The first type is the collective case study. Try to translate it in your mind into Arabic language. You can do it in order to be able to understand what I'm saying. Collective. It's like French. Collective. Are you understanding me? Collective. It's like a French. Collective case studies. The second type, descriptive case studies. It's clear. It's as a French. It's like a French. Descriptive case study or case studies. The third type, explanatory case study. Explanatory case study. Explanatory. And we have also instrumental case study. Here you can understand this word, instrumental. Instrument. It's like French, nearly like French. Instrumental case studies. And the last one is intrinsic case studies. Intrinsic, it's like French also. Intrinsic. Intrinsic case study. Here you have to do your best. You have to do your best in order to have more information about these types of case study. Now, I have to go back to explain what does it mean a term. Or I can say now that I'm totally ready to receive your questions. Why not? You can ask your questions even if in Arabic. Even if in Arabic. I allow you to ask your question in Arabic language. But I have to ask you in English language. I'm totally ready to receive your question. What are you, or for what are you waiting? Marwan?
It's
President? I can't understand you. To study. To study. To study. I can say study equal. Yeah.
I mean, it's president.
President. What does it mean, president here? Present. The present. You mean the time? The time. Yes. Case study can be. We can use or can be used to to know the historical of a person or group or society. So case study can be an historical approach, the first one. On the other hand, case study can be also a systemic study. I mean that case study can be used to know deeply about a person or society or group in one time without doing any historical travel or any diachronic approach. So, case study can be both historical study or historical approach and systemic approach in same time. Another question? I said you can ask your question even if in the Arabic language, but I'm obliged to answer you in English, of course. In Arabic. Wait, Marwan. Another question from another student. نعم. And I have said it in Arabic. نعم. We have only Marwan here. We have only Marwan. Who can ask his question? I'm totally ready to answer you. Before moving to another thing. What have you understood concerning this case study? What have you understood about the case study in general? In one idea, in one sentence, please. Who can explain to us what does it mean, or the real meaning or the scientific meaning of a case study in one sentence, please, or in one idea? In one sentence. About what? No, about person. You have to emphasize this one. You have to emphasize that this kind of study must be used to approach person's life, group's life, and societies or society, or the life of society. I want to say it simply. Of course, it's a process of research, of scientific research. But it is about a person, or this research, or this scientific research must be done about person, group, and society. And nation or civilization. Why not? Yeah. Person, group, event, society, nation, or civilization. But what I have given to you is very simple. I can't give, or I can't. Yeah, Marwan. I can't hear you. Please, be quiet. Please, be quiet. Case study. In Arabic, we have to. To study a person's life, group's life, to study a person historically and systematically, if I can create the word or the term. Shh, be quiet. Event. For instance, a political event. But you have to limit a purpose. Purpose for what you want to study, or you want to know more and more information about this event. For what purpose? You have to limit, or you have to define or designate one purpose for what or for which you want to know more and more about this event. Even it or whatever its nature, political event, cultural event, sociological event, and so on. You have to get a deep vision about. Welcome. You have to beat. You have to get a deep. You have to underline this word. Case study is a depth scientific research about person, group, event, and so on. You have to know about events or about a person, about society deeply. You have to get a deep vision about person or event or group or civilization and so on. Now I have to thank you for your attentive following. Now, thank you so much.